All right, it's Monday on Daily Delivery. I'm Michael Rand, Patrick Reusse with me as usual. Patrick, we got a lot to get to as usual because it's a Monday and because it's the convergence of season, still the last day of October, which means we had World Series, Wild Wolves, Gopher football. But we got to start with the Vikings as we do when they play. And Patrick, 6-1 now. The lead increased in the division. I saw a tweet from, I think it was Superstats Dave, tweeted that in the month of October, the Vikings went 4-0. Everybody else in the division went 2-12 combined.
I put out a tweet that the Vikings have 6 wins and the Three Stooges have 7. So
unbelievable.
It's been when Green Bay collapsed. There's nobody to chase them, but they took the week off and virtually nothing has changed. They make an adventure out of games you think they should win easily. But then again, this was not a walkover game. I'm not a Kyler Murray fan, but Arizona proved how they're mediocre because they can screw up a one-car parade by making stupid mistakes. And they did that again and helped the Vikings hang on when the Vikings were having some problems. But it's the modern NFL. We keep saying it every time they play and win, that all you got to do is figure out a way to win. They're all, with 6 minutes to go, you don't know who's going to win 80% of the time. And if you win those last 6 minutes, you win a game, right? So that's what they've been doing. And you can't argue with 6-1. That's for sure. When you look around the league, how many have got 6? The Philly, is anybody else? Anybody in the
Giants might have 6 now, but
no, they got beat yesterday.
Oh, that's right, they did. The Bills, maybe the Bills, but that's.
Oh, the Bills have lost 2. I think the Bills have lost 2. So
Well, then I better check because I thought those were the.
Yeah. Or maybe the Bills are 6-2 or something. Maybe they haven't had their bye week yet, but right. I think they lost 2. So but they came out and somehow they were behind early in the third quarter.
Right.
But that game, if I was a coach, there'd be nothing that drove me crazier than somebody dropping a punt.
Oh yeah, and
that's how they lost. That was the ball game. They lost. Arizona had a couple more chances, but they finally get a stop. They're only behind 28-26.
Yes.
They finally get a stop. They're jumping around like crazy, happier than hell. They punt the guy just lets it hit him with a hand.
Muffs a punt. Yeah.
And then I saw him over there embracing him on the sidelines, kick him in the ass. Don't embrace him. Tell him how rotten he is and send him to the locker room. That's what I do if you can't catch a punt. Bud, that was the one thing. Bud drove Bud crazy. Just come up and catch it. Okay?
Yep.
Don't let it hit the ground and don't let it go out of your hands. Okay? Just catch the damn thing. He hated them when they hit the ground and went 15 yards the other way, too.
Yes.
But, that was brutal. But, the Vikings, it could have been a blowout, but what the heck? You sit there, you get to go to an end. And I think I don't go to Viking games as a rule. I think I've been to 1 or 2 since they went to the new place. And it doesn't seem loud when you're watching it on television. But right. the crowd got them when they were down there on the goal line before they had to kick that field goal to make it 28-23. They were sitting there pointing at each other, and the linemen were turning around and looking at the quarterback, and then they snapped it and hit him, and he ball on ball. So that that was kind of an old time Metrodome type of turnover there too. So 6-1. What's to argue with? And they got the commies coming to town. So Washington tries to win a game with 17 points. They're not going to win a game with 17 points in the Ziggy Dome. So
no, the Vikings go there.
Oh, it's there. I thought it was home game. Excuse me. Not that it makes any difference.
It shouldn't.
Should beat Washington with that pathetic offense they have. Although our old friend Taylor Heinicke
right?
And I don't think has he won 3 in a row? Have they won 3 in a row? Something like that. I think they have.
They're playing better ever since.
Ever since they changed the quarterback. So the other guy got hurt, right? And so Heineke's been playing. He's, is he one of our guys that we always wanted to get more of a chance to play? Guy with the fans that get down on it.
He was interesting. He was the guy, I think it was 2016, where I think it was not long before Teddy got injured. He was down in training camp in Mankato, and you remember he like severed a tendon in his ankle trying to kick out a window because they got locked out of his place.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
And so that obviously would have been a year where he would have gotten a better look, at least to be a backup behind. I don't think they would have kept him as the starter when they had such aspirations, but
might have been some alcohol served that evening at Boomtown. Is that what you're suggesting? That he decided to kick out a window?
He blamed it on late night. They went to a late night movie, is what he said.
Yeah.
Late night movie.
Okay. All right. Good enough. That's good enough.
It was the knuckle push-ups of its time.
I would go with that too if I were you. We went to a late
night movie.
Yeah, I'd forgotten all about that, but yeah. So, I mean, Zadarius Smith, what a pickup! Aaron Rodgers sitting over there at 3-6,
3-5, 3-5
with no receivers. He's got to look at that stat and say, and he's another guy we let get away.
Yeah,
I don't think John Gutekunst's son is going to have his job at
right. No, they're falling fast.
He's going to be the scapegoat, don't you think? Because LaFleur's record, they can't get rid of him. But
he's built up enough equity with those 3 straight 13-win seasons. I mean, they're not going to get rid of him right now.
But
they shouldn't either.
They're going to have to. Mark Murphy thinks he's the genius of all time, the president over there. So he'll have to have a scapegoat. I got a hunch it'll be Goody Jr. So.
Take a playcation to Mystic Lake. With 24/7 gaming, the good times never have to end. And you can satisfy your cravings at our restaurants and bars. Or relax in one of our luxurious hotel rooms. Those that play together, stay together. And don't forget to join Club M so you can spark new memories and bask in the rewards along the way. Follow the lights to Mystic Lake, where every day is play day.
Per little bookkeeping here, Patrick, the Bills are actually 6-1, and the Giants and Cowboys are 6-2, but nobody else has 6 wins, and the Vikings the only other 6-1 team, and then obviously Philadelphia is still undefeated. But yeah, I mean the NFC not looking all that difficult right now. I mean the NFC East got 3 teams with at least 6 wins, but nobody else in the division has, or nobody else in the conference has 6.
Seahawks with MVP candidate Geno Smith are
right
that division. And,
they're 5-3. Yeah, boy, they got out from under Russell Wilson at the right time. Boy, he looks. I know he won this week, but man, he looks terrible.
Yeah, that's hard to believe, isn't it? Wow. I wonder what's causing this. I mean, it's just I don't know. It doesn't seem like his mobility is gone, but yeah. It's weird, but man, there's never been a coach get himself in hot water with a fan base quicker than Nathaniel Hackett.
No, well, it was right from the start too.
Opening night, right? Yeah. Night he tries a 90-yard field goal,
right?
And they've been on him ever since. And they're crazy out there, Denver.
Oh yeah.
Denver football fans are. We talk about Buffalo and Pittsburgh, and the Iron Belt. Towns that are,
right.
That's their whole life. But Denver, they're crazy too. I remember being out there at Mile High for playoff games, and the press box kind of sat down underneath one of the top of the deck, but you were stuck down in kind of an end zone sort of, and and you were right underneath the stands,
right?
And you thought they were coming down on you when they started pounding their feet and stuff like that. I think that was I don't know which one that was that Cleveland screwed up. There was a few of them out there. I think that might have been when Biner fumbled that game. So that was a long time ago. But yeah, that they're crazy out there. And they turned on that coach in a minute.
Big thing for the Vikings on Sunday that I want to get back to before we move on to other things. They actually got the running game going and not just late 173 yards rushing. Dalvin Cook 20 for 111 and a touchdown. Madison had another 40 on 5 carries. Even Cousins with that 17-yard scrambled to get the scoring going. You don't see that from him very often.
He was Crazy Legs Cousins.
Right.
He had a run the last win too, right? So
yeah.
Somebody finally convinced him if there's a big gaping hole there, run through it. He actually, there was a play that was that he had a big hole to run for a first down on with only 2 yards to go, and he threw threw some goofy pass that time. And was that the interception? Did he throw an was that the interception?
He didn't throw an interception. He fumbled. I think he threw it and it was incomplete though.
Yeah. So he wasn't immaculate yesterday, but what the heck? He's 6-1, which is really good for him because he was a 500 quarterback.
Exactly 500. I think he was 59-2 coming into the season as a starter.
Looks good on his resume. Nobody's ripping him, are they? I mean, the fans aren't ripping him.
When I talked about this with Ben on the show Friday, just, being out there for a lot of these Wednesday accesses this year and comparing that to what I'd seen from him in past years in the media. He looks different. He looks more comfortable. He's talking less like a robot. You kind of got robot Cousins when I think Zimmer was telling him, hey, don't say anything. And he seems different now for whatever that's worth. I don't know whatever that's worth, but it does seem like he's different this year in the way he's presenting himself.
Culture, baby, culture.
It's culture. I mean, it's a hard thing to define, but there is something to it, and they keep winning. So you got to keep saying, well, they're doing something right. They should probably keep doing that, even if they probably need to play better at a certain point.
Well, the big contrast is last year they were playing close games and screwing them up, and this year they're playing close games and winning them. So that's a good habit to get into. You never stop watching a game saying, boy, they were great today. But they were good enough. And I thought 2 weeks ago they were really good. So, I thought that was their best game of the year. Yesterday they were kind of what they've been, but they won a ball game. So who cares?
Speaking of culture, the culture with the Wolves right now doesn't seem to be great. And I know we got patience is a big thing right now. And I know their record is 4-3, which is, the sky is not falling at that record, but with the soft schedule they had to start the year. And I know some of these teams look a little bit better than we thought they were, especially San Antonio and Utah, the two teams that have hung losses on them. I think Utah once, San Antonio twice, but those are teams that you look at on paper that they absolutely have more talent than, and they're not playing cohesively right now. They're not playing like they have an idea of how they can or want to win. Everything's been kind of a grind so far. Not like they're not having fun. It doesn't feel like the Butler year. It just feels like they don't really have the plan in place yet. And that Spurs game the other night was a perfect example. They just get outclassed, out hustled by a team missing a lot of guys and just frankly not nearly as talented.
4 for 29 on threes last night. 4 for 29. Russell, that was one of those games that D'Lo lost for you instead of won for you. And it wasn't all his fault, obviously, but he did nothing to help you. He was, I think, 0 for 7 on threes and 5 for 17 or something from the field. And, they don't really. They aren't quick enough when the Gobert and Towns are both playing. They're not quick enough to guard the perimeter. They're kind of slow. D'Lo's, Russell's got some quickness, but he doesn't use it. He messes around, dribbling around out top, and I don't know. I get the same vibe from them in October as I got from the Twins in June. It just started. You go, this is not good. But I mean, even the other night, they like they're threatening in the first half to blow a team out. And all of a sudden, you look up and they're tied at halftime.
Right.
How did they manage to do that? They played like just a bunch of idiots for 5 minutes, and it's 52-52, and they're on their home game against the poor, slow Lakers.
Right.
52-52, and they kept the Lakers in the game when it should have been a blowout. And there's not much to recommend it right now. I don't know. I think that they gotta play. They gotta pick their spots more with Gobert and Towns, and as far as playing them together, and get Nas. Nas gives them some, youth. Gives them some young energy, and let Gobert play with Nas once in a while and see how that works out.
Sure.
And I don't know. I haven't been impressed with the coach this year either. I don't think they know what they're trying to do, but everybody said it's going to take a while. But here's the deal. As you point out, we were talking about it before. They were favored in all 7 games, right?
They had to have been. Yeah, I think so.
It's probably because because they're so bad. But they got, now they're going to hit the schedule here. What are they going to do when they start playing decent teams? You look at your schedule. 7 out of 82, whatever percent that is. This was probably the easiest 9% of the schedule you're going to face all year, and you're 4-3. So I don't know. I got a bad vibe so far.
Yeah, I don't have a good vibe either. I feel like we got to give it some time, but the Towns Gobert thing it's okay, but Towns put up good numbers the other night. He didn't shoot well from 3. He had 26 points. Nobody else had more than 18, but he was a minus 22, which says the defense was not good when he was on the floor. Mm-hmm. Naz, you're right. That lineup with Naz had it going. He only played 9 minutes, but he was a plus 12. He had 11 points in those 9 minutes, kind of got them back into that game for a little while at least, but starting lineup just has been clunky offensively. I don't know exactly what the answer is. I'm not ready to do my D'Lo sixth man hot take yet because I think we got to see a little bit more. But I don't know. I don't even know who you put into the lineup because I don't think Jordan McLaughlin is your starting point guard. So I don't know. I don't quite know what to. I don't know what the fix is kind of part of the problem too. I don't know how you make this suddenly better. I mean, that's up to Chris Finch, I guess. Like how do you get this group that has 5 talented starters? How do you get them to be more than just 5 good players? How do you get that group to be a good cohesive unit? It's harder to see the more you see them play together.
Yes. And but here's the good news: in 2 years, they could maybe draft a point guard, right?
Yeah, they don't have a pick next.
Every other year that they gave up the draft year. We've talked about this last week. If this goes south in a franchise known for its disasters, this will be number 1. This will ruin you for a decade. And when A-Rod and Laurie come out and tell us they need a new arena, we're going to say, go to Kansas City or something,
right.
There's going to be no appetite if this thing goes south, man. And people were fired up. They were ready to get behind this team. And, all of a sudden, it didn't take long for you to say, what am I watching here? It's just
right.
Not good, man.
No, it's not. And we'll give them a little bit more time. We'll give them the 20 to 25 games that they like to say it takes to kind of get a real feel for an NBA season. But yeah, right now it's not been fun to watch. Usually it's just, it feels like they didn't have enough time together in the preseason. And part of that I think was Towns missed a lot of that, and they were trying to rest Gobert a little bit too after he played all that Eurobasket stuff. So you don't want to keep making excuses. I will give them a little bit more time before we reach a final judgment on them, though.
The trouble if you give them 20 games and they're 8-12,
yeah,
and you're fighting uphill all year. So
that's true.
They gotta. Beyond just how they're playing, I don't see much of the kumbaya with them either.
Right.
I know they were gone to Noel and tried to get him to sign an extension, and he said, "Nah, I'm going to wait and see what's out there." And that's what I heard anyway. And they, that would indicate to me is you don't have a guy say, "Boy, yeah, heck yes, this is where I want to be," and that that I don't know what the attitude is, but right now it doesn't look good. As you say, we'll wait. They might come out and play a great game here one of these days. I haven't really played the one game. When they beat San Antonio the second time, they shot 65% or something, right? Wasn't it San Antonio?
You make that many shots, yeah. Yes, they did.
And last night they're 4 out of 29. So that. That making basketball, it's always based on what you're making shots or not. So,
but you can't just be a good team when you make shots. You got to be. That's the thing.
Got to figure out a way to win a grinder too. But I don't know. It's not looking good right now.
Team that can beat bad teams, Patrick. Go for football.
Hey, I think I leave that. I watched. I through about 5 minutes of watching Rutgers offense, but There's one thing PJ has proved in year 6. He can beat terrible teams. They've done that. Michigan State might not have been as pathetic as the Gophers made them look, but they're having an awful year. And then, the Rutgers fit right in with the teams they beat in the non-conference game. So that was, I think I saw a tweet from Chip that going into that game, we're talking about improved Rutgers, and they were 109th nationally in offense.
Yes,
they came in and they proved that wasn't a fluke, man. They were terrible. So
yeah, their defense was supposed to be okay, but the Gophers got enough there. It was what they ended up with 31, although a couple of those were pretty late. But yeah.
They took that they took that last touchdown instead of Neil. PJ wanted to make it look as good as he possibly could after the previous 3 weeks. And now you were thinking they might be going down to Nebraska to play a much improved Nebraska team. And our guy Bielema goes in there and beats them bloody. They get 6 points, right?
Yeah.
They get 6 points, Nebraska. And I saw some second half stats on them that they got nothing, against Illinois. How about that guy? He's the coach. He's not the coach of the year. He's the coach of the decade.
Yeah, they're having a great year. They're good.
Turning the Lavelle E. Neal All-Stars into a Big Ten division winner in his second year without highly rated recruiting classes either. So it's interesting about it. So they're playing old time Big Ten football, run a ball and knock the crap out of people defensively and take the run away from people and make them throw to beat you. So
he essentially presided over some of the best of Wisconsin, right? I mean, he
went to 3 Rose Bowls in 7 years, and now some of them was, I think one of them was because they lost the championship game and stuff like that. But wasn't he there when they killed somebody in the championship game? I thought one year that when they first started the championship game, one of the rare victories for the West. I know one of the year, but yeah, they went to 3 Rose Bowls with him. Never lost to Coach Brew. He was 7-0 against Mace. He beat Mace once.
Right.
Brew all 4 times, and then he beat Kill too. I mean, he beat Kill twice. 7-0 against the Gophers, and now he's 9-0 all time.
Right. Yeah. No, they're something else. And the Gophers, I don't know. I think I talked about this with Randy last week. Like, it's hard for me to find a way to reframe this season. They're trying to do that. They talk about this. They've got their own little Gopher football playoff, like whatever it takes to kind of get yourself back up after you lose 3 in a row. I'm trying to figure out what it would take in my own mind to still think this was a good year after the way they started and the way they plummeted in those 3 games.
Finishing 9-3 and not winning the Big Ten West is not. I mean, this was the year it was sitting there like a big bowl of cherries to just take it. And the Purdue game is the one you'll never get over.
Yes.
Or they got 10 points against Purdue.
Yes.
Which gives up, and then Purdue turned around, gave up 37 to Nebraska. I still can't figure that one out. But
no, that's true. I don't know what it would take to make me feel good about the year, but I guess them winning against Rutgers is a start anyway. We'll
next year they play Michigan and Ohio State.
Yes, this was the year. Yes.
Yeah. So you didn't win it. After that start and after the rest of the West, anything that did not involve winning the Big Ten West makes it a failed season, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure some people will, if they can beat Iowa and Wisconsin, I'm sure that will ease some people's nerves, but it still wouldn't get them to where they wanted to be.
They can't beat Iowa this year at home. Forget it.
Board up the stadium.
They're terrible, man. Alive. It's. I don't know what happened to them, but I think that they're just they were able to win by being boring, and now they're so boring and terrible that they can't do anything. And I wonder they don't have the guts to blow out Ferentz, but Ferentz better know in his heart that his kid ain't going to get the job.
No, oh gosh, no, not after this.
No, anyway,
a couple more things for you, Patrick. The World Series game 1 was awfully good. I know the second game was a little bit of a blowout, but man, like the Phillies just don't stop, and they're I don't know, just going down 5 to Verlander and then coming back and winning that game. This could be a pretty fun World Series just because they have that kind of whatever it is, the not give up factor that you see in these teams that sometimes ride it all the way.
Yeah, I was in and out of the game on Friday, but last Saturday was a pretty good ball game. It didn't seem right though to be in America. And the first week of the World Series, there's not a Sunday night game. Where the hell? I know the schedule was all screwed up, but how can you give away Sunday? Okay, yeah, I know the NFL has a game, but you gotta schedule it so you can play on Sunday, for goodness sakes. Anyway, it's the first one was demonstrated baseball's number one problem to me, which is length. But it was a good ball game and a nice comeback. And then there's been in this World Series some really terrific defensive plays.
Yes.
Live, I love that catcher from Philadelphia. Too.
He was the one that broke the game open too. He had the game-winning home run on the Friday game too.
Some of the throws he's made to second base, and the guy steals bases. He's been catching now for 7-8 years now, right?
I think so, yeah.
He steals bases. He's got like 18 steals or some dang thing. I don't know. I heard him talking about it, and he's, they'll send him, and he's what an athlete, and he's a great player, and Harper's got her going, and the Astros lineup isn't as deep as it's been.
Right. I mean, they don't strike out though. They don't strike out.
Like the kid, the shortstop, obviously they replaced Correa, Pena. They got some outs down there at the bottom of their order, which they never used to have. And a lot of it depends on Altuve. He started hitting again. He was 0 for 20 something to start the postseason this year, which is not. It is amazing when you see. Garbage can, all that. People don't like him. You see, the guy's 5'5". It's unbelievable. He's just this little guy, and he's I think the whole garbage can thing probably screwed him up, but he's a Hall of Fame second baseman. So at that size, it's he probably won't make it, but he's a fantastic player. Yeah, it's been pretty good. How about Philadelphia? You got the Eagles.
Yeah.
Are they playing Monday night? No. Are they playing? Do they have a home game?
Let me see. I'll check. Keep talking. I'll check.
I thought
I don't think they played yet this week because they're still 7-0.
Have the Monday night game.
No, they don't play. They don't play tonight. Cincinnati and Cleveland. Maybe they might be on a bye this week.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
No. They played already. They beat Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right. So, but you have the unbeaten Eagles.
Yes.
And then you also have the obviously the World Series back, and the Philadelphia is going nuts for it.
Yes.
And You're in the Soccer Bowl too. They're
Right.
soccer won the East for the first time in Philadelphia. I don't know where they play, but I saw some tape of it. And the crowd in the stadium was full. That's probably a different crowd than you see at Phillies and
Right.
especially at Eagles games. You probably don't need a jail at the soccer stadium.
Probably not.
Vet stadium for we'll just go downstairs and put you in jail down here. We don't have to take back in the old days. So yeah, they're Philadelphia they haven't had much success lately, and all of a sudden they're fantastic. So
no. 76ers are 3-4, but other than that, they got to feel pretty good about that. And the Eagles, when they're good, and they won the Super Bowl here a few years ago, so they got that. But when they're good, things have got to just be much more pleasant in Philly than otherwise, because that's a team that's a town that lives and dies. Let's put it that way.
I was there for when a few times, but one of the games I was there for was when Carolina came in and beat them. That was their NFC title game. Ooh, they were ornery after that one. They were done of it after that one. So they were very unhappy. So
yeah, as well they should be. Well,
they are wild. They had a nice road trip. Good.
They did. 3-1-1. They're I don't know if we can declare that they're back, but they're back to 500 at least. They kind of got there,
and they're not giving up 5 goals or 6 goals a night. Yeah.
You
know what? I've discovered in my long studying of hockey, if you give up 5, you're going to lose. If you give up 2, you're going to win. That's what I discovered. So,
good analysis right there.
Right there. You usually play to 3 or 4. I said after game 2, I said on Twitter, I said, I didn't see the game tonight, but I think our fellas got to tighten her up in their own end.
Yes.
That's what they've been able to do that a little bit. So
they have. And they got a shootout win yesterday. So 3-1-1 road trip. That will, again, when they give up 20 in the first 3, it's easy to make some quick judgments, but seems like they are closer to the team we thought they would be now, at least. And we'll see if the Wolves can do the same thing at a certain point here, but none of that matters as long as the Vikings keep winning, because they are numero uno by a long shot. It seemed like I wrote about this last week. Seemed like some of these teams had a chance to weasel their way in and nudge the Vikings out a little bit, but then the Vikings started winning, and all these other teams have been flat or disappointing in the last month, and now here we are.
Hey, one more note. I was at the St. Thomas game Saturday. They had San Diego in, and San Diego had been the titan of that league. They didn't win it last year, but you could see the difference in athletes here in year 2. Last year I went, and it didn't seem much different than an MIAC game, but they got this kid McElroy from Illinois. He's a true Division I player. He dropped a punt and next 2 plays later, he was running 75 yards with a little square out. He had a 97-yard touchdown. He had another 60-some yard touchdown. And the other team, they had some really good skill position players. They don't have the big, strong linemen that you see in other teams, but it was a hell of a game. Unfortunately, it was mid-term break at St. Thomas, so they turned the students loose on Wednesday. So there wasn't much of a student turnout, but it was a gorgeous day, and it was a really good football game. St. Thomas beat them 49-42, and there were a lot of weird plays, so that was fun.
Yeah, they're having pretty good success across the board in their transition. This is going pretty well for them.
Yeah, the basketball team, November 7th, opens sometime in November. Their opener is against Creighton, which is in Omaha. They're rated in the top 8 or something like that. So that'll be a good test for the boys.
Yes.
So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Sounds good, Patrick. Appreciate it. We'll do it again next week.
All right, Mike. Thanks. Goodbye.